Hello, my stamping friends. It is Monday night at 6 o'clock Central Time here in Texas. So you know what that means. It's time for Live with the Stamp Maven. Before we get started on the live, I've got a couple things. I wanted to show you guys this beautiful card I got today from my friend Kelly. She had surgery last week, and I sent her something, and that was her beautiful thank you card to me. Isn't that pretty special? So speaking of surgery, while everyone's popping in, many of you know my husband Dave, and you know he's called the Stamp Slave. That started many, many years ago when I had a group of young moms who came to our home to stamp. And one day Dave came out. He knew several of them from church. And so he came out and was talking to them. And then I think he was cutting paper for me or something. And so that group just nicknamed him the Stamp Slave, and it sort of stuck, and he is still known as that today. And it's kind of funny when new people join my Stampin' Up business as team members or customers, and somebody mentions the Stamp Slave, I get some sidelong glances, but I just wanted you to know who that is. So he is having surgery on Wednesday on his back. So if any of you are praying people, I would love you to say some prayers for him and me and keep us in your thoughts. Let me turn around the camera so we can get started here on our live tonight. This is going to be... Well, hello, Miss Carol. I bet you recognize that card that I showed, didn't you? Okay, I've got us going here. Tonight, I'm going to show you this gift card. Now, I've made several samples. The first one was a dog. This one is a little kitty. And this is a reindeer. Well, it is a kitty that looks like a reindeer. And I have to give you a little disclaimer. This stamp right here, this ho to the third, for you math whizzes, that would be like ho, 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 but ho cubed or ho to the third power. I wish Stampin' Up sold this stamp, but you caught me. It's contraband. So shh, don't tell anyone. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use tonight. Everything is in our mini catalog, our July to December, and this is the Sweet Stockings Sweet, which is kind of funny. The S says sweet and then sweet. It has got this adorable stamp set, matching dies, and it also has felt, some decorative dots, some ribbon, and then this paper here. So one thing Stampin' Up has done recently is if you want to order an entire suite, there's only one number that you have to put in. Of course, you can still order anything individually. You could order just the bundle, just the paper, or whatever. But I just love this suite because just about everybody has a pet of one sort of another, or has a grand pet or something like that. So this paper has so many fun patterns. Let me just pull some of them out here to show you. You can see that I've used many of them, and of course they're double-sided. Now, here is our little Christmas bulbs, and this is more of a plain piece. Here we've got some different kind of doggies and a little kitty. And then we've got our striped piece here on the back. Now, what is really cool is I'm using, well, I'm going to show you in a minute, I am using the stocking die cut, and I cut it right out of this piece of our DSP right here. So I just cut it out. So there is a stamp, so if you preferred, you could stamp and color. There's a die cut also for the smaller stockings, which works out really well. If you wanted the stocking to go the other way and maybe put some twine or something, you could do that as well. I love when stamp sets and dies are so versatile that you can use in many different ways. All right, so let me show you how we're going to make this gift card. Let me open, we're not making a gift card, we're making a gift card holder. Okay, so here it is, and it's got a couple of pieces. It's got the gift card pouch, if you will, and the belly band. Super easy for us to make. And the great thing is, I'm going to give you all of the measurements, and you will be able to create this gift card for any holiday that you want, not just Christmas. So I wrote down all my measurements, and of course, here they are. I was going to say, of course, I can't find them, but I did. So what you're going to do, you are going to start out with a piece, solid cardstock, and it's going to be measured at 5 by 7 3/4. Then you're going to score it at 2.5 and 6. Now, I just use my paper trimmer to score, but if you have a score tool and you're doing a bunch of them, it might be easier for you to just whip them in there and then take them out. So then the next thing, you have to decide your designer series paper. Now, I'm using a couple different patterns in my project. You could do whatever you wanted to do. You want to turn it so the narrower flap is at the top and the wider one is at the bottom. So first thing we're going to do, this piece of designer series paper measures 1.5 by 4 3/4. And the reason is this is 5 inches, but you want it to fit in the middle here with a nice border around it. So I'm going to also use my green glue. Excuse me. The reason we call it green glue is because the cap and the container are green. The technical term is the mono multi-purpose liquid glue. But don't you think it's easier just to say green glue? So I'm going to get out my green glue. And the reason I use this glue is because it gives you a lot of wiggle room. So when I put it down, if I see, oh, I've got it off to one edge a little bit too far, all I need to do is wiggle it around in place. If you use the Stampin' Seal, you can still do that, but you have to, what I do is you've sealed it, then you just kind of pull up a corner and breathe on it all the way around, and that takes it off without ripping. Now, on this piece, I'm going to use this pattern right here. Okay, so Mary, you are working on your phone, not on an iPad. Okay, well, that should work just great, I hope. And remember, I always post the recording right after, and you can ask me questions, and I'll answer those as well. All right, so here we have our next little piece right here, and I'll post the measurements as well. Whoops! See, and I just slid that right off the page. So if I had seal there, that might have ripped. Now, there's no harm, no foul, because this glue dries clear. Now, the next thing we want to do, you notice here there's like a little finger hole right here. And the way I did that was I just used my 1-inch circle punch. And, I didn't have time to look before I did this to see if we even still sell that. If we don't, I know there are a couple of sizes. I'm pretty sure we still do. Or you could use a circle die, and then you just have that little notch cut out. Okay, so the next thing we need is our tear and tape. All right, give me 1 second here. Sorry, I had to zip over to my bag to get my tear and tape. I always forget something. You are just going to run a little piece on each side. Now, the main thing is you want it to come all the way to the top. If it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, that is no big deal. But you want it to go all the way to the top to make sure that top is secure and that your gift card won't slide around. So now that I've got that tear and tape on there, I'm just going to take off the top layer. Sometimes I use my take your pick tool and use the little piercing tool, but tonight I'm just using my fingernails. Then all you do is gently press down where your adhesive is. You want to not smash it because you want to just leave kind of the little pouch here so it's easy to slip your gift card in. Then the next thing is going to be where I'm going to put my sentiment and leave space to write to my recipient. So this white piece is also 1.5 by 4 3/4, same size as that. I'm going to use my green glue again and put that right here. This stuff holds really well too. I always have several bottles of this around. Okay, that looks pretty good, pretty straight. Okay, so now we are almost done. The next thing is we need to make our little belly band. So I showed you earlier, I cut out my stocking. Now, I took my little piece of designer series paper and I wanted to use this little doggy right here. But I had a piece at the very bottom where there was a little head right here. So I didn't have to, cut the head off of one of these doggies. It was just around the bottom here. So what I'm going to do, I wanted him kind of popping out of my stocking here. So I want to trim off this little piece because that was about to hang off where I didn't want it. I'm going to take that green glue and I'm going to just run a small little piece there. I'm going to turn it back over and then I'm going to place my dog right here. I'll just hold it for a minute. So he'll be like he's popping out of his stocking. And look here, he matches that same, there we go, matches that same little doggy. I'm going to set him aside for just a second. I have also pre-stamped this for you. That's another stamp in the stamp set. Now, for our belly band, you could score this ahead of time, but here's what I like to do. I just go like that, flip it over, and I go like that. And then you could put your adhesive right here on the back. But watch this little trick. Move it around to the front, okay? And then put your adhesive right here. Again, I'm going to use my glue, and I'm going to just seal it right here, like that. So now I've got my belly band, and you think, well, Anne, you've got that stupid line right there. But look here, I'm going to take my little doggy, and I am going to put these 3 dimensionals right here. I'm going to peel these off, and then look, I'm going to stick that little doggy right in the center, right here, and then I'm going to take this for you, and I'm going to put part of a dimensional on that side. And I'm going to use my border of my dimensionals. That way you don't have to waste a full one. So I'm just going to make sure I get it on the right side here and pop that off, and voila. Then when you get the gift card, put it in here, write your little note, and it is ready to give to your recipient. You can slip it in one of our medium envelopes, an envelope you have, or maybe you put them on your kitchen table, on the mantle, or whatever. But I just think this is so cute. And another idea what you could do, I just thought of this. If you used fall paper, what you could do is make this little gift card holder, make your belly band using fall paper and maybe a leaf on the front. All right, let me get this guy on. Well, you know what? For some reason, I think he went on my other one here. Let's see if he fits better. Yep, he fits better on this one. I probably folded it different. But you could take this gorgeous leaf stamp set, and it actually has a matching die that goes with it. Make your gift card holder just like that. But instead of a gift card, write to someone. Let's say you have someone at your table on Thanksgiving and their name is Carol. You could write a little note to Carol why you are blessed to have them in your family or to be a friend. Something else that I love to do is, let's say you're going to use the name Carol. You would take a piece of paper and you would write their name down like that. And then for C, you might write cheery. For A, amazing. R might be real. She always keeps it real. O, outstanding. And I'm just getting these off the top of my head, so I guess I get a gold star, right? And L, lovely. So then you write that, and then you stick that in here. Then for your belly band, maybe just take a solid piece and have a name on it. So that can be their name tag at your Thanksgiving, at your Christmas table, birthday, Easter, Halloween. I mean, guys, this project is so great for any occasion. Hey, Maria, thanks so much for popping in. Well, that is what I have for you tonight. I wanted to tell you really quickly, I just was checking the Stampin' Up site before I got on here, and they are having a surprise sale on the 20th, which is Wednesday. All of the Cling stamp sets in the annual catalog are going to be 15% off. I'm going to put all the information on my Facebook page, my blog. I'll probably mention it in YouTube and on my TikTok channel. Pinterest as well. So I wanted to give you guys a little heads up. So if there's anything you want, you can get it at my store on Wednesday and save 15%. Alrighty, if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments, and I will see you next Monday night. Have a good night.